What is good, everyone, and welcome back to the Nostalgia Plus Ultra podcast. My name is Nostalgia. Joining me is As Told by Zoe. What's good, my guy?
Hello there.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be back. Took a little bit of time off, but, that's what happens when, schedules start getting a little more hectic. Speaking of which, this upcoming, this is probably one of the last times we'll probably record before we enter what I would wanted to call the hyperbolic time chamber. It's coming to a point where, my master's program is on the back end. So I'm working through my last few classes before I graduate in the summer. But I got probably one of my harder classes coming up. And so I'll probably be spending a lot more time with that, as well as the fact that it is now spring sports season. So baseball, lacrosse, golf, tennis, every spring sport you can imagine is playing right now. So, and with the job I have, it's going to be really hectic. A lot of times where I'm just kind of not able to do anything or think about this podcast or any kind of content creation stuff because I'll be working. So, I know we did this last year too. Around this time last year, I kind of was just I can't do it right now. And we just picked it back up, in May or a little bit closer to the summertime. So,
to be honest, I thought we already were in the hiatus.
Yeah, but that was but I was I feel like we need to record at least one more time before we officially be we're on hiatus.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I was we did miss 2 back-to-back weeks, so I wasn't sure if we should just I should just tweet something about it or should we actually have an episode. But I was we'll just we'll just record one more time before we kind of decide it's over. But yeah. I do kind of want to talk about some plans that we might have for this hiatus, I guess, or things that we're going to try to think about doing. I know me and you talked about doing that one big themed episode that we it's going to take a lot of time to actually finish.
Mm-hmm.
When we for watching all the stuff we need to watch before we actually have the episode, and that is
this could be a research period.
It could, yeah, that we could use this hiatus period as a research period. And, just for two different, one thing for certain, and then one thing I kind of want to run by you while we're on air. So, the video game anime or animation adaptation or whatever, creating a tier list for the best video game animated adaptation, is what me and Zoe were referring to. I think we had mentioned it on the podcast at some point in time. I can't remember what episode it was, but we want to watch every possible video game that has some sort of a animated adaptation and kind of rank them, depending on
what kills me is the Tales of series.
Oh yeah, we talked this.
There's 5 of those games that have animes.
Yeah.
Symphonia being one of them, which is kind of hype because everyone likes Symphonia. But then there's some that I've never, Tales of Vaxahusa. And I'm what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be, this hiatus is going to be somewhat of a research period where we kind of just might not be able to watch some of the new, animes coming out. We're just strictly trying to watch the animated movies, some of the TV shows. I think there's a couple we already watched. Obviously, I've already watched Castlevania, and that's going to be pretty high on the list anyway. I already know that for a fact.
We saw Tekken,
Arcane. You know what I'm saying? The League of Legends one.
Does Sonic count?
Does Sonic count?
It is up in the Oscars. It's up for best animated movie.
Really?
You want to talk about how bullshit this is, actually?
Okay, yes. Let's go. Let's get into this because the hell?
Because Sonic is under animation, but Avatar is still under live action.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, because animation's for kids. Fuck you,
dog. Okay. Thanks, Editor Taylor. Make sure to cut that part out so people's eardrums don't get obliterated.
But that shit, bro. No one listened to what the fuck Guillermo del Toro was saying for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
Animation is not a genre; it's a medium.
Yes.
But then all the old fucking Joe Biden looking asses in Hollywood. Oh, this for little kids. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Like, because that makes no sense. If you're using, if a large part of the movie itself is like CGI and like, putting like this kind of, it's like do like a lot of mocap and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why I mean, you can make the argument that's live action because it's real people moving around, but like mostly it's a green screen and you're mocapping them, right? Sonic being animation makes literally no fucking sense because
there are more real locations and people, at least in the first movie.
Yes, like Mario, the new Mario movie is coming out. That's an animated movie because there are no real people in there. Because it's strictly just animated characters running around, right? There's no way.
James
Sonic
Marsden's handsome ass is not animated.
Right, there's no way. I mean, there's a Sonic like TV adaptation if we want to find that and watch it. The Sonic movies don't count.
Sonic X is so fire.
Like if we want to find
another
those,
anime. Oh my god. Fuck.
I mean, if you want to find that and watch it, that's fine.
Fuck yeah. Okay, we don't have to watch the movies. We have to watch Sonic X.
Yeah, we watch Sonic X.
Have you ever seen Sonic X?
I'm pretty sure I have. I can't remember.
If you've never seen it, you are going to hate Chris.
Really?
He is the worst fucking character ever.
Oh,
I'm not going to say why, but there's like a really big point in the show.
Yeah.
Because you would think, oh, it's a Sonic show. They're not. No, it's kind of this one big connecting story.
Yeah.
And then once they like reach a point in the story where you're like, okay, some shit's about to happen, and then Chris just fucks it up.
Oh no.
It's annoying.
I can't remember if I actually have seen it or not. I'm not sure. Might have been, how like Sonic shows or like animated shows would come on that like Disney Channel X or like the CW for kids type joint. Like I feel like I saw it on that, but I'm not 100% sure.
For kids. That's
yeah. That's a throwback.
Sanji smoking a lollipop.
Oh yeah. You had a censor big time in there. I remember that.
And the very famous, hey guys, haven't seen you in a long time. And then Luffy, Zoro, Luffy.
Oh yeah. I remember that. They had to like censor that joint heavily because it was insane. Like, I mean, but it's whatever. But yeah, so like that's coming down the pipeline. I think we're going to use this hiatus as a time to like really research a lot of stuff because we got to go through like Fatal Fury, Street Fighter.
Oh man.
We did Tekken. I don't know if Tekken doesn't have any other animated adaptations. I don't think.
No.
We got Mortal Kombat because they have a bunch of movies, like animated movies and stuff.
There is an Injustice movie.
I mean, it's a video game. We might have to watch it.
Yeah.
There's like some other stuff I'm blanking on. Do we do Dragon Quest? Because like there's an anime out right, or not
it's
right now.
It's an anime, but that character's not from a specific Dragon Quest video game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Dragon Quest devs went crazy and made it canon because when I started playing 11, I get into these fucking deep rabbit holes whenever I play a game.
Yeah.
So I learned that the first 3 Dragon Quests are all canon. Are all in the same canon. It's 1, then 2 and 3 are prequels to 1. Then 4 starts a new trilogy. So 4, 5, and 6 are all in their own canon. But then 7 is separate. 7 and 8, I think, are together. 9 is a prequel to 2 and 3. So technically it's also a prequel to 1. Then I forgot what the fuck 10 was. And then there's theories that 11 might be connected to all of them.
Oh no.
So I don't know if Adventures of Dai is one of those, like, it's in between 4 and 5 or something.
Oh, yeah, that kind of joint. I mean, if it is, it's not a huge deal. But like in the next like few months, just, you know, there's going to be a lot of a lot of research, I guess, going into everything. And then
This is going to make me watch Shenmue. And I've been wanting to watch Shenmue for a minute.
facts. Actually, yes, because I thought about that too. I was like, we probably should have watched that when it came out. Because it was on Netflix, right? I think, right?
No, it's Adult Swim on Crunchyroll.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. They've been. I don't know, because you know, Adult Swim and Crunchyroll adaptations like together, like those two, the joint venture shows they had wasn't great.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
They had
So-
the fucking what's the really bad CGI one that Tevin talked about?
No. That wasn't. That was X-Arm was not Adult Swim joint.
Oh, was it? I thought it
No,
was.
no. Speaking of which, we do need to watch that. We need to so within these, just I guess like going on the hiatus type joint and what we want to do like research wise and figure shit out. We have to find some time to edit the second part of
Neko Girls?
Neko Girls. We have to. I mean, this is like it's a non-negotiable. At some point in time, we have to put the second episode out.
Yeah.
And then follow up, we have to do something similar to that with X-Arm. We have to.
Sure.
We have to.
Maybe by then I'll have OBS fully set up.
Yeah.
So we can capture the video a little better.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like they're just thinking about that right now. And then, so yeah, I mean, we might have to do some research on, you know, Dragon Quest to see, but then we got a bunch of other, you know, video game adaptations that we can like look at and stuff, and we'll have a pretty extensive list by the time we really come back. And then
There's a Final Fantasy anime.
is there, or like the like the little like CGI movies?
No, there's one they did in the 90s or early 2000s that's not connected to any game. But it's really hard to find. Like I've been trying to find it to see what the fuck this show could be about.
Yeah, I mean, well, speaking of which, though, do the Final Fantasy animated movies count? They have to count. I feel like they do. Like the ones that they play in the middle of Final Fantasy 15
But
to progress the story forward.
there's only that one, unless you're also talking about the Spirits Within, because that was a movie that they released in the 2000s that really kind of has nothing to do with well, maybe it does, because you know every Final Fantasy is a different story.
Yeah.
It was the lead director of all the Final Fantasies, Kitase, wanted to make a movie, and then they were like, sure, you just got it, since you're Kitase, you got to put Final Fantasy in front of it. And then Square Enix made this CGI girl, and they were like, this is the future of actors. So they treated that girl, that CGI model, as an actress, not as a character.
Oh, okay.
So she posed for like magazines and shit. And then apparently the movie was ass. Apparently it sucked.
Oh, man. We might have to omit that one.
Wait. Advent Children. You have to watch Advent Children.
Yeah, I will.
That's connected to 7.
Yeah, okay.
I think I might rewatch it subbed, because the dub is not good.
Uh-oh.
I think it has very good voice actors. Like Reno is the voice actor for Axel from Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
and he's good. But I think it was just weird directing because it was 2005, and I don't think there was whatever people do now when it comes to casting and directing animes in English is way better than what we had in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
Because I think in the 2000s it was a weird, what's it called, language barrier.
Yes, where like they didn't really understand like the translations and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So I
probably
might
true.
watch
There's
it
only,
again
like, a select few.
in what's up?
Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I might watch it again subbed to get to, because as of right now, it's like C, maybe D tier, and I really like Final Fantasy VII. You know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, we gotta check that one out. So I guess when we get into recording, we'll definitely like make a list of everything we need to watch across the board. We might add some stuff as we go, but hopefully we get like a full, extensive list. And then we get into our second themed episode. I think there's 3 main episodes I want to kind of cover, and then which is the video game one. Then there is now the Attack on Titan is finished, is going to be finished, right? Jesus. In the season. Because okay, my plan was to make like, how we did the themed episode with Evangelion,
Ava,
right?
Yeah.
My plan was to do it after Attack on Titan ended,
but they keep splitting it up,
adding parts. Yes, so hopefully, they end the story legitimately, and so I can, so we can make an episode on just the entirety of Attack on Titan, similar to how we did. Similar to how we did Ava. Like I know, like there's probably not as many like running theories and other stuff like that, because Ava left a lot of ambiguity in their story.
Also, it's been like 20-something years.
Yeah, true. So like, that kind of helped us with some of our content in terms of like talking about it. But I think we have enough with Attack on Titan to be able to really fully give a good themed episode like we have done in the past.
I've been seeing a little bit of theories already, but theories more like, maybe this happened because what if it happens later or some shit like that,
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, but like with Ava, right? It was like, oh, it's been so long, and plus like Anno decided to make it super open-ended with certain endings and other stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's all these different theories and concepts that in parallels we could pull or whatever. Attack on Titan, we're not sure. The biggest thing with Attack on Titan is probably going to be how they're going to actually end it, because are they going to try to go with this more commercially appealing ending to it, or are they going to stick with the polarizing manga ending, which part of me is like, I kind of want to watch, like this is probably one of the only stories I've truly held out on reading the manga for, because everything else everything else is coming out of the pipeline, especially like the newer shows that are coming out, like the more popular ones, are ones I've already read the manga for, like Jujutsu Kaisen. When I was getting an anime adaptation, I'd already read it, so I kind of already knew what was happening. Same thing with with there's a new Chainsaw Man, and then the same thing with this new one that's coming out, Hell's Paradise. It's coming out April 1st, right? I read the manga for it already.
Wait,
and so yes.
I thought that came out last year.
Hell's Paradise? No.
Is Hell's Paradise the weird? You told me it was like kind of a harem.
No. Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm mixing a few up. There was one that you told me you read the manga, and it was fucking weird because it was like there was not a lot of males, and then what's that one called?
You're confusing Hell's Paradise for Worlds and Harem, which is insane, by the way.
Oh, well, I haven't read either, and I just thought I just thought the other one, World's End. I don't know. I thought it was Hell's something.
No, you're fine. But it was just pretty. It's funny to me because World's End Harem is essentially this like.
Yeah, you told me it
hentai.
sucked.
It's a hentai essentially.
Essentially,
like
why not fully?
So for reference, and it was funny enough. If you check our TikTok, we already made a clip on this a while back.
Yeah,
I read the first chapter, and the first chapter is pretty long. And once I realized where the story was going, and
you were like, I was
like, yeah,
I'm
out. Like, I don't really have like an issue with like nudity or whatever in stories.
You telling
or whatever.
Me there's titties?
I mean, there are. If you like that, that's fine. But I'm not really big. Like, I'm not really like a prude or whatever. I'm like, oh, like, ew, get that nudity and shit away from me in my mediums of entertainment. No, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
Get it together, game designers.
Right. But I kind of already saw where it was going. So with World's End, I think just to kind of make sure we're on the same page.
Sure.
Here, World's End is like a virus that's killing a lot of men. So certain men go into cryostasis, and the cryostasis experiment doesn't necessarily fail, but like the world essentially goes to shit, and it's just only women walking around. And so like,
so it's a nerd's dream.
Facts. Like literally the 10 or 11, 12 or so men that actually do survive the cryostasis wake up and are told they have to repopulate the world. But the main character was so in love with this one woman, he can never touch any other woman that comes in. It's literally just like,
it's Redditor, the anime.
It's the dream of any guy who is afraid to talk to women, and then also wonders why
it's
women
horny
don't like
Futurama.
Oh my god!
Icy wiener. Ah, crud.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, it's like, it's bad. I read the first chapter and I was like, yeah, I know where this is going. And then they made an anime adaptation for it, and I was like, how are you gonna do even 20% of the scenes that are in this story? Like, how are you even going to do that?
You know what I saw on Twitter the other day, which kind of pertains to this?
What?
Have you seen Golden Boy?
Not necessarily. Like, I know what you're talking about. Like, I've seen like, some clips from it. It's pretty funny.
I've seen funny
like
clips,
the show.
But
yeah,
I just saw a clip recently where this girl's basically fucking her motorcycle.
Really?
And I was like, wow, this is weird. And then someone in the comments was like, yeah, there's another scene, and then she's fucking topless
in the
I was like, I thought this was a comedy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when people talk about Golden, is it the Golden Boy? They say, oh, it's like
the dub is hilarious,
one of the best like comedy anime of all time. Then it's just like, then on top of that, I guess it's like people neglect to tell you it's also very horny.
Yeah, I was like, that caught me way off guard.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. That's weird. Where was I at? Okay, yes, back to the topic. Hell's Paradise, right? This new anime is coming out. I think I sent you a tweet with the trailer earlier this morning.
I haven't seen it yet.
So yeah, like it's one of like the newer, more popular Shonen Jump titles that have come out in the past.
Oh.
Like 5 or 6 years, well, 3 or 4 years, right? Because you got Jujutsu Kaisen, you got Chainsaw Man, and you got Hell's Paradise, which is, those three are like, people like to call them like the Dark Trio. Yeah,
the Dark Trio. I was about to. Yeah, I remember you talking about this. Yeah,
because of the fact that like they specify on shonen titles that are very like gory and dark and like have more adult-ish themes in them, but it's really just more gory and more violent than like a Naruto or One Piece or like a Bleach. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. But yeah, like how's it relates to Attack on Titan though? Like, this is Attack on Titan is one of the only shows I haven't like picked up the manga for, because I wanted to like organically experience the show without like already knowing what's happening, right? But just because of how crazy the story is, right? I wanted to just experience it in general. But if we do the themed episode, I might have to actually go read the manga just in case.
I was thinking if the ending is any different, that I would read the last few chapters to compare.
Yeah, because I feel like if they change, part of me feels like they will change it just because of how everything's kind of shaken out with people in Japan and here, like not necessarily like 100% liking the ending. Like if you ask 10 people, 5 are gonna say they loved it, 5 are people are gonna say they hated it. You know what I'm saying? It's never really like
what the vibe I'm getting is that they're changing it. Yeah, maybe because people didn't like it, but also I almost called him Murata. I forgot the mangaka's name. The mangaka wants to explore kind of a multiverse,
which
that's what I've heard around the bend, you know?
Oh, like there's multiple errands across multiple periods of time that have done something?
because I guess spoilers for season 4 as of now, for anyone listening, if you haven't seen Attack on Titan, remember when fucking Gabby hits a fucking 360 no scope?
Yes.
And then once Zeke touches Eren, and then they go through right before they reach the world tree. There's a flashback, and there's a bunch of shit passing.
Yes.
I don't know if this is just a funny little reference, but for like a frame, you could see Goth Mikasa and Nerd Armin, which are from a spin-off Attack on Titan, which was called Titan High School, and Mikasa was a goth chick, Armin's a nerd, and Eren's like your run-of-the-mill like normal high school kid.
Yeah.
And in that spin-off, which was like, again, a spin-off, like it's not canon, they go to watch a movie, and the movie that they watched was Attack on Titan. Like they make references like, oh, the swinging swords, and then I think Armin says something like, oh, the ending was whatever or something.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I don't, again, some half of the internet is like, that was funny, and the other half is like, there's more worlds out there.
I mean, I don't know if I would like that too much. I'm not sure.
I think I'm a little multiverse out.
Yeah. Low key.
If they change it, I hope they just change it to change it. Not because they're like, I'm Eren from Earth 92.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That would kind of ruin it for me, low key.
Yeah, because like the rest of the show's been pretty serious.
Yeah, and like I don't want them to pull like, not necessarily don't pull it, but like, you know, have like a situation where like a Ava episode 24 situation where it's like Rei, Asuka, and Shinji are all just like regular high school students.
Oh, but see, the way Ava did it was to show like, to kind of make fun of it. True.
But like at the time, I could tell people were, when people first watch it, they go, "Oh, did it just like go back to regular school? Like, what does this mean?"
Yeah, we had the luxury of having the entire series out already.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
But that's a whole other. If you have not watched our Evangelion, it's on YouTube as well, and our most downloaded episode, go check that out.
I think it's one of our best. It's really good.
I think it's one of my favorites. But yeah, it's gonna be the video game adaptation tier list. Then I really want to do an AOT themed episode. The third one should be a continuation on our like what makes fill in the blank interesting. I know we did protagonist, we did antagonist, we did power systems, and I feel like the last one we need to do I mean, there's a couple more we could probably do, but I think the most important one's probably like world building, like what makes or what story has the best world building, or like what makes world building interesting, or stuff like that. Like I think then we can kind of talk about some of our favorite world building elements and stuff. I'll say it now, but go ahead.
It's just like a little taste. I remember I recently told you about the Yakuza Kamurocho.
Yes.
And I'm playing Judgment, and I'm seeing. It's like I feel like I lived there, because I played 7, which is the latest one. Then I played Kiwami, which is the first one, takes place in like 2005, and I'm playing Judgment, which is 2018, kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's almost like it's a like I see how the back of Kamurocho has changed and how it is, and it's just cool. We get into it more when we do it, but it's just really cool.
Yeah. So like those 3 are the main ones I kind of want to have, on the down the line. I definitely want to make another jukebox episode, but this one could be a little more themed, I guess. And we could probably. I thought about doing like our favorite albums of all time type of thing.
I got it on deck.
I don't have mine fully written down yet. It'd have to take a minute for me to really like.
I have top 10.
I don't know if I have a top 10 yet. I'll probably. Well, then I guess it's good for us to do it then. So, yeah, I don't really have me a top 10. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I know I want to slightly touch on some of the anime coming out that's out right now for this current season. I know Zoe, both of us have not done a great job with staying on top of everything in terms of the shows.
Yeah, I've been gaming.
It's fine. I've been reading a lot of manga. That's another thing. Like, the plan for me, low key, is kind of how, Zoe did his big video game bonanza episode at the end of last year. I kind of want to do something similar to him, but instead of video games, it's going to be manga. And I've read a large chunk of them already. I'm continuously adding to the list of ones I want to read. I've, making sure I make a note in the Shonen Jump apps, or in the Manga Plus app, or even in like Manga Decks, just like with like fan translations and stuff like that. Like, I have a huge extensive list of titles that I want to get to. I don't know if I'll get to all of them within the given year, because there are a lot of titles and stuff like that, and interests that I want to get into. I want to get into different genres too, because I don't want to just do 50 manga that has to do with fighting and killing people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I might get into some mystery. I'm kind of dabbled in a little bit of romance. Some good romance, and some just like train wreck romances.
Sure.
I know I showed you like part of the list.
Oh yeah, I forgot the name, but I saw one that I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Wait, which one is it? I think I have the list. Let me see.
My god, my dog is barking so much.
Bro, Milo's on one today. I don't know. You gonna go get him together?
Yeah, wait. Give me 1 sec while you find the name.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right, and we're back. So the story, the title I think you're referring to is "I'm sick of my childhood friend, now girlfriend's constant abuse, so I broke up with her." Is that the one you're referring to?
Most likely.
Oh man! Just like a preview of it. I technically already finished it, but because it's a light novel that's getting a manga adaptation, if that makes sense. So like, it's a light novel that they're turning into a full-fledged like manga, like with like panels and stuff. A light novel doesn't necessarily have like pictures. It has like a little bit, but nothing crazy. Like, it's mostly just a book.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So I read
the Lord of the Rings now getting a novel adaptation.
That's what I'm saying.
I really, genuinely, I didn't know that about light novels.
It's like the Lord of the Rings getting. It's like you take the Hobbit, right, the book, and you turn it into a manga. That's essentially what it is, kind of. But like,
oh my god, wait. You want to know what American book has actually done that, like turned into a comic?
which one?
Fucking FNAF.
No.
The first 3 books, which are like connected, they're now all comic books.
Jesus Christ! Oh my!
Of course, it would be FNAF.
Dude, and then they're gonna put a bunch of random like tidbits of lore in there that MatPat's gonna skim through and and suddenly have a theory about the timeline.
Bro, I saw a TikTok the other day where the caption was just MatPat moment, and he's talking about in the 1920s and 30s.
Dude, oh my god!
And then it cuts to, and they all went to Fredbear's.
Dude, that video. It kind of pissed me off because it's like, how stupid do you think we are? Okay. Like, how dumb do you think we are? Like, the amount of suspension of disbelief you have to fill in that big of a gap, or like to really give you, to like really justify what Michael Afton's story actually is when it's never really been confirmed at any point in time. That's fucking insane.
They're just stupid animatronics.
Bruh, the fact that like so many people made like an actual living off of just telling FNAF theories is actually crazy. Like, I wish I would have. I wish I could go back in time and tell the younger me to just start making theories on FNAF, because I'd make so much fucking money. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh shit. But yeah, so the story I read or whatever. I read the first I think there's only 8 chapters that have been fully translated and turned into like a manga, and so I kind of was just like, this is the biggest trailer I've ever seen in my life. I really need to know, like, what happens. Like, I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really just really wanted to, like, just, like, figure out what happened. And so I ended up reading the light novel. Light novel's the chapters are a lot shorter in light novel. It's not as many pages to flip through. So it was way faster than reading the manga. I read the light novel. So technically that counts. Technically it doesn't, but whatever. And it's a bigger train wreck than I thought it was going to be. And I think it wasn't as popular as a light novel, so it ended after like 30 chapters, and the ending is just the most bonkers shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh lord.
And so like I feel like the story wasn't as popular, so they had to end it before they really had any kind of character development for the central antagonist of the story, which is like the guy's ex-girlfriend.
Oh jeez.
Because okay, so like just for preface, and like I'll probably re-explain it when I do the tier list or whatever, but the story is essentially like this girl and this guy, the main character, this guy, he's, you know, like he's dating this girl who was his childhood friend, and his childhood friend used to like verbally like put him down a lot and like treat him like shit to lower his self-esteem enough to where like he didn't want to go and do and talk to anybody else besides her. So they started dating because she was like, oh, you excuse me, she's like, oh, you I'm the only one that's you're gonna be your friend, and she's like basically like verbally abusing this man into being her boyfriend essentially. And so then it gets to a point where he gets so like distressed and abused to where he ends up in the hospital for stress.
Jesus.
And in the hospital, she says something to the effect of like, you're so useless. I don't understand why I'm dating you, yada, yada, yada. And he goes, okay, let's break up then. And so she like freaks out, and like he like stands, 10 toes on his decision. He breaks up with her or whatever. And like he spends a week in the hospital, like contemplating whatever. He gets like a haircut, and all of a sudden he shows to school and he's like the hottest guy in the school. and like every girl wants him, and like he's
Okay.
like people are coming up to him, and like he has this complete 180 turn where he's like now like very popular and with the people in the school, like the guys, like he has so many friends now. This other really quiet girl that didn't really talk to him, but they sat next to each other for like a year and didn't say anything. Now that he's like free from the shackles of his ex, like he can talk to her now, that kind of stuff.
Anime protagonist stands up for himself, challenge past.
Facts. So like, and then it's a situation where now like the ex-girlfriend is like super, manipulative and, controlling. So she's like, oh, you've had your fun. It's okay. You can come back to me now, X, Y, and Z. And he's like, no, like, don't talk to me anymore. So then basically the whole plan, the weirdest shit is like the girl is trying to like manipulate him into getting back with her. And then by like very shady methods and stuff like that, by like, dating the new popular guy at school and trying to like make him jealous, or spreading a false rumor about the girl that he likes so that she gets in trouble.
Oh Lord.
Gets expelled from school. Like the
Jesus Christ.
Just the dumbest shit. So, but like, it was it's the same situation with like, when I was talking about Domestic Girlfriend Rainy. Like it's a train wreck, and I know it's a train wreck, and it's very not well thought out of the story, but it's fucking hilarious. And so I was like, yeah, I just think this is one of those deals where it's really funny, and I just kept reading it and finished it. So
yeah, some of those you get caught up. Fucking, I know a few episodes ago I had this rant for More Than a Married Couple.
Yes,
and I gave it a 6 out of 10, but I like it. When season 2 comes out, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think the only like train wreck show that I really just can't watch, and obviously I'm gonna bring it up again, is Rent a Girlfriend. I just can't do it. I can't.
I couldn't bring myself to watch season 2. Even though I defended season 1. I don't know why I couldn't. I guess it's because I saw Love is War afterwards, and I was like, oh wait, there's actually good romances.
Yes, low key, I kind of want to read that too. Like
the
Love
movie's
is War.
out.
I want to read that. I didn't see if it was out in any like theaters close to me. I didn't see.
Two men, being me and you, should go watch it.
Oh man! But did it just like only come out on the 14th of February? Like, didn't it just only come out then and that was it?
I thought it was like a movie release.
I hope it was a movie release
because they're doing that with
something.
They're doing that with Demon Slayer, like a real movie release.
Oh yeah, they're doing that same shit again, where it's like the movie, and then the first like 12 episodes are the movie split up into 12 episodes.
Is it I thought it was the first 2 episodes.
Or I don't know.
I thought they were going to connect the last episode, that's 45 minutes, and then the first 2 episodes of the next season.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was like how they did with Mugen Train, where like the first, like that first half of the new season of Demon Slayer was just the movie cut up into parts.
I would like to be pissed off about that, but I really like Demon Slayer, so
so it's not that big of a deal, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as far as like the manga goes, I'm definitely trying to get deeper into that, and
we are going off on so many tangents today.
So many, but like it's just
we are not medicated today.
Not at all. Yeah. What was I going to? I think I was talking about like the new anime, the current anime season that I haven't been really caught up with. My only gripe currently is that for some reason they're talking about Trigun ending when like
the final act starts today.
Like, what do you mean final act? I can use more clarification on that.
I think it means like the final arc of the season.
Yeah.
But that also means the final arc of the show entirely, because the first show was just one season.
Yes, but when you think into perspective, like the original season was like 30 episodes.
Yeah.
This one is going to be like 13 or 12. Which,
I mean, that's what modern animes usually are.
yeah, and that's fine.
Demon Slayer season 2 having 14 episodes, everyone was like,
Yeah.
you know?
But my biggest thing, and I guess this will definitely like be this, I guess, is an issue for me with the new Trigun, and it's probably one of the only valid criticisms of the show that I've seen, or I will see, is that we don't really get a good like glimpse of the character of Vash. Like I obviously like and Wolfwood. Like I know obviously like the way the story's going, and they're definitely speeding up the process, and they definitely like will very much not necessarily shove in your face, but really just like very much show you like it's right there in front of you how Vash views the world and violence and killing people and stuff like that, or just, you know, what his motives are, right?
Yeah.
But we may have only really gotten his actual personality for at the max like an episode and a half, maybe.
Yeah,
like the first episode and maybe the first half of the second episode.
Yeah, they're really focusing more on the story, where in like the first iteration of the show, it was a lot of every episode was just him going like peace and love.
Yeah, like we haven't gone that one time.
Yeah,
which I think like it doesn't really like hit the same.
What really struck me, after I thought about it, was the first episode tackles the whole water plant thing.
Yes.
In the OG show, that's not until like episode like 5 or something, right?
Yeah, because like what they took their time with like establishing who Vash is as a person, not like as like obviously the whole. You don't really find out like why he's called Vash the Stampede until
later,
the last like 2 or 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
But it's always like a hanging title that he has, and then but you always get to see like how he interacts with just the regular people of the world, on top of, you know, like trying to survive, you know, being like this outcast or this like wanted person, right? And you get to see just more personality from him in that time span. And, you know, I know we mentioned world building. Like the world building in the original Trigun is way better than the world building in the Stampede, just because they don't have enough time to establish the world in 12 episodes.
You think that was a creative decision by Orange, or was it like we don't have enough money to make 25 episodes?
Well, apparently they were supposed to. It was supposed to be a 2-season story.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Unless, like, well, I actually no, I can't even make that speculation, because they already kind of hosed themselves with saying final act. Like maybe they have like original story beats of the original show in the first like 12 episodes, like the battle between
Vash and Knives.
Battle between Vash and Million's Knives happens in the first season, and then like have a second season where it's all new original storylines, right?
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fine, but I feel like they already shot themselves in the foot by saying it's the final act begins, because that means it's over.
Maybe they worded it wrong and we're thinking too deep.
I mean, maybe. I hope that could be the case. But yeah, that's like the biggest knock I think on this new iteration, is just like they're really focusing on just the trauma side of the story, right? They're not really like putting too much effort into really establishing this crew and their character, you know what I'm saying, and their personalities. Because like Vash is way more goofy and funny in the original than he is in this one. Like in this one, he's just a sad person. He just basically puts on a fake smile, which is the theme of the original, but we don't get that kind of like duality because the whole show is just trauma.
Yeah. even if the first iteration gets a little too goofy, maybe a little too corny at sometimes, I think it gives the show character, because now that I'm watching Stampede, and I still think it's pretty good, but like it's almost like you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Like when watching the first one, I'm like, it was cool, but I didn't like how too goofy it got. And now that there's no goof, I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, it feels like it's missing something. That's like the trademark, I guess, personality point of Vash, is that he is goofy.
Yeah.
And like he is, kind of, a goofball that kind of it looks like he's messing around a lot of the time. Like, obviously you haven't seen the latest episode, but there's literally a point where Vash just puts on this really like upset face and he just beats the brakes off of people. And I'm like, I didn't see that Vash until episode like 25 of the original.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the biggest, the only real gripe for me is that I feel like they're ending it a little bit too soon.
Early.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more in between the, like, because I mean, I praised the new show for like having the plot happen like right now. I know I said that like 2 episodes ago, and I still stand on that. Like, I still think, having the plot like happen immediately is a good thing, but I feel like there should be a lot more in between.
Sure.
That happens, like, like visiting other parts of. I know they're trying to get to another part of the world, but we haven't really seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like in the original, Vash, like every 2 episodes, Vash is in like a different place because he keeps leaving Meryl and Millie in the place he's at, and then going on his own adventure, and they end up just like finding him.
Yeah, and then there's the fucking episode where on the fucking casino, well, not the casino thing. Why am I thinking it's a casino? Because the bandits are on neon. Do you remember that when they're on the big train? So like, there's a lot more movement in the OG.
Yeah, you get to see different. That's what I'm saying with like the world building. You don't get that with the original. But yeah, I like it. I still really enjoy it. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I do think this is probably one of the few real valid criticisms it could have. Is that it's not as drawn out and like really developed as the original is. Revenger is actually starting to have a plot now, and I
oh, now you're invested?
I'm kind of invested, low-key.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why they took this long to actually have this, but it's, how like sometimes the story will be like, okay, plot button now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess, so you got to draw out the episode and, got to make it worth people's while to stick around for 12 episodes. And I feel like it probably would, that's probably a show, that's the type of show that's probably better to be binged than watch week to week. Because if you're watching week to week, you're like, oh, there's no story. And then like all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, there's a story here. But instead, when you're binging it, you're like, can see the development happen in real time.
Yeah.
I guess. But I guess like they're playing on one of the bigger historical points in like Asian history with the opium trade and like the opium epidemic. Yeah, because like, they mentioned that in the very beginning of the show. It's like, well,
I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah. Well, in the beginning of the show, the main character ends up killing, I think like certain people in his clan on like, he got ordered to do it and like realized that it probably wasn't a good idea because the people that ordered him to do the hit were like dealing in like the opium type joint, right? And it was like very undercover stuff. So the people that got killed think that the main character is like now has all of the opium that what's his name had. You know what I'm saying? It's like people are trying to frame him for it, and so now it's a situation where they're trying to find him, and it's kind of complicated. But now I'm starting to enjoy it because I actually have a story. Same thing with High Card. Like High Card didn't have any kind of story at first.
Fuck.
And
there's so much I need to watch.
I know, but you know that's why it's it's going to be on the platform forever. So don't feel too discouraged if you can't watch it all immediately. So,
you know what show still hasn't hit the plot button?
What?
Boruto.
Actually, it has, low-key.
I saw a TikTok where a guy was yelling because someone commented on his like last TikTok talking about how like Boruto is good or whatever, and he was like, the show hasn't had a canon episode for a year and a half.
Oh, that's very true. I think they just now started.
Yeah, but they're fighting dinosaurs now. That's what's canon.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, and low-key, I might make this into a clip, but hold on. I personally do not like Boruto. That's just, I've watched enough episodes to form my opinion and say I don't like it. Okay.
Cold take.
Whatever. I've watched enough episodes to understand that I don't like it. Okay. I read the manga, and I think one of the biggest issues I have with Boruto is the fact that the manga is serialized every month as opposed to it being every Sunday.
Okay.
And I think that has an issue, and I think that issue with them being serialized in monthly causes a problem with how the anime works, because the anime isn't seasonal. The anime is weekly. Which I think is the dumbest thing ever they could have done. Because
that's why there's so much filler, because they've already caught up every month.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no real like synergy between the manga and the anime. Like you take something like, I think it's hard to really compare any other story, because like a lot of stories now are all weekly serializations and not monthly. So I can't really put too much comparison to any story to the other, but I'm gonna try. So with like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? The synergy works because the longest that the story will go, the longest the chapters will go without like serializing is like 2 weeks. Like they'll take 2-week breaks. Sometimes they'll take 3-week breaks. Like maybe if Gay J is like, has some health issues, he may take some time off. Like at the max, it's like 2 weeks before you get, like it's like every Sunday, and then skip a Sunday, and then the next Sunday it's here. Right? That's the longest it'll go without a chapter.
Sure.
And so you have all these chapters, and then you have a seasonal model where you have a 2-core situation where it's like the first 12 episodes are a certain thing, and then you wait like a month or a few weeks, and then you pop in with another 12 episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then so when you have the seasonal model, it kind of eliminates the need for filler, because then you have breaks in between. It gives you like a year, so all the chapters can catch up, and then you can get right into the next season without any issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boruto can still thrive on a seasonal model, even with
the monthly serialization,
and be able to be fine, because then you can have actual canon episodes, and the quality of the show is not going to take a huge dip because of the fact that it's going to be seasonal.
Yeah.
Right? If it's weekly, they are making a episode every single, I can't remember if it's like what day it comes on, but say it came out on a Wednesday, right? Every single Wednesday of this year, they are making episodes of Boruto. Like the money and the time crunch that would probably go into that would be way more difficult. It is way more difficult than coming out with episodes in a seasonal model. Because even though it's seasonal, they're still making episodes like, as the days go by. Like, an episode comes out on a Tuesday, Wednesday through Monday, and even like all the way up until right before it airs, they're creating the next episode, right?
Yeah.
But with seasonal, I would assume you get different kind of budget, different kind of time constraints in order to make a better quality product, as opposed to putting it out every week. Like, I understand that it's a Naruto IP, and it's like that's kind of where it derived from. And Naruto, Bleach, and I think One Piece at one point in time were all weekly shows.
Yeah.
But you can't do that model anymore. I don't think you can. I feel like that model is not going to work anymore. So then, if you're having this many episodes going out at a time, you're not giving the manga enough of a time to catch up, because it's a monthly situation.
Yeah.
So that's why people, oh yeah, they haven't had a canon episode since November of whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's because of the weekly episode schedule and the monthly serialization schedule not working together.
So why do you think One Piece fares better because One Piece had a head start?
I don't know. I think it's just One Piece probably is just a better story.
Yeah, but it's apparently it's nowhere near caught up with the manga.
True, because I think they switched from a weekly situation to a not seasonal. Actually, I don't know if they switched or not. I think
it's not seasonal. The anime.
No, it's not seasonal. But I don't know. I think they just have probably a better production studio that's along with it. And I think the filler of One Piece is kind of just, I don't know. It's weird. Like, the fan base is just, I don't really have like a clear answer. I think the fan base is just like, I think it's just, it's different. Like with
I think I think it would make sense that when One Piece started, anime wasn't so big. Obviously, it was huge in Japan.
Yeah.
But not that big around the world.
Yeah.
So One Piece manga starts, and then maybe, I don't know how long they waited, but I don't think the manga and the anime started together.
Yeah.
But when Boruto comes out, and Boruto is a sequel to one of the most famous animes to have ever been created, they were like, yeah, sure, there's gonna be a manga, but we gotta make the anime like immediately.
Yeah.
So it was kind of set up to fail in a way.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. I think also the creation of One Piece in terms of the anime definitely took a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
They took these gaps in time to where, and even when they were making filler, like even when they had like filler episodes, like there were also times where they just weren't making episodes of One Piece. I mean, it went on a little bit of like a hiatus.
Sure.
And that allowed the manga to really start getting up there in numbers, and then they came back. So like the most recent, so like they're just now getting to, I think they're getting to a point right about, pretty soon where they're having like one of the major fights of this most recent arc. So like they're in the Wano arc, and they've gone through it a large chunk of it, and now they're in this like the fight between Kaido and Luffy.
Yeah.
And that, funny enough, that fight's been dragging out for almost like a month and a half now.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it for a minute now.
but the fight in itself is long. Like the amount of chapters that fight takes is crazy too. So it's getting to a point now where it's about to catch up. Not necessarily about to catch up, but like it's kind of creeping up along with it. Right? I don't know if they're gonna drop any filler, but stuff like that. But
Vegapunk is right after Wano?
I think so, yeah.
Oh shit! So they're closer than I thought.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think so. To back to your point, the Sasuke fighting dinosaurs, right?
That is a sentence you just said.
Okay. So back to Sasuke fighting dinosaurs. Okay, that technically is canon, because it's a story of like the Naruto Retsuden novels that basically just are an account of Sasuke and Sakura's, like, when they were together, their journeys as a couple,
Yeah.
like after the events of Naruto. Like it's like a time skip, but like an in between period before Boruto happens and after Naruto ends. If that makes sense.
It does, but this explanation is like FNAF levels of crazy.
Yeah, but like I personally don't understand why they're fighting dinosaurs, because dinosaurs have not been mentioned. It's not like dinosaurs like aren't what could never potentially be a part of
Sure
the story or like the world, but like it has never been once like kind of mentioned at all. So it's just kind of.
It's also just weird because like this is a world where like Naruto is like a fucking nine-tailed fox. So if these people were fighting like the Google Gobs from Island Jibble Jab, that would make more sense than fighting fucking dinosaurs.
I guess, yeah. Because I mean, a lot of the powers and the creatures that you do see in the world of Naruto are based off like Japanese mythology or Asian mythology in general.
Yeah.
So like putting dinosaurs are not part of that mythology, so putting them in there is kind of weird.
It's like a real world thing.
Yeah, but it's weird. But that technically is canon, even though it is. You can definitely call it filler. I'll say that you can definitely call it filler because it's not a part of Boruto. Like the story of Boruto is not Boruto doesn't make an appearance. He's not in it. Doesn't have anything necessarily to do with him. So yeah, you can call that filler. But yeah, I think that's my Boruto soapbox. Like I'm not a fan of the anime. Like I'll read the manga because I think it's pretty decent, but I think it definitely suffers from the manga and the anime not necessarily being in sync with each other in terms of how things play out. I think the One Piece is good enough to where like people can sit through some filler and there are no like novels that recount in between moments of time. Like it's just one of those kind of things. And I think and this is one thing I kind of want to say, the amount of episodes of One Piece is crazy and is very daunting. Like I myself am very worn out with it, and I haven't really, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't fully caught up yet. But it's an adventure story, so what else it's not gonna, an adventure story is not gonna get wrapped up in 12 episodes. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense as to why it's so long. But yeah, I'm getting on, what was that, like the 5th tangent today in this episode? But yeah, so I don't even know where we were getting off of the track. I guess we could just move on. Because I definitely did want to get into, like, we did say we want to talk a little more about music this episode because of the fact that like a lot of stuff dropped and like in the past like couple weeks, and we haven't done a jukebox episode in God knows how long. So yeah, let's start with your fandom there.
Oh
with
Lord,
the new Gorillaz album, Cracker Island.
Brother,
what did you think of the album?
I think I've seen a lot of fans be a little polarized by this album because this album is kind of like unapologetically pop.
I can see that.
It's Gorillaz' most pop record, and that doesn't, I know a lot of people when they hear the word pop they think immediately bad, which is not the case. There are good pop music, you just need to listen to music. But I genuinely, they don't miss. they don't have not one fucking bad album. Bro, how the fuck do you get Stevie Nicks, Booty Brown from the Far Side, Beck, and Bad Bunny on one album? That's called pull. This guy, Damon Albarn's a fucking legend. And people respect him for it.
Facts.
He fucking worked with Elton John and Mike Will Made It on the same album.
Is that the...
That was
what
Song
album was
Machine.
that? Song Machine? Yeah. Okay, hold on. There's one Gorillaz album that I'm not going to say it's a flop. I'm not going to say it's a flop. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's one that I did not like that much, and it was Humans.
I agree. It's not that good, but I don't think it's bad.
True.
I think it was a weird return because it was very end of the worldy.
Yes, I will say though that Ascension with Vince Staples is a fucking banger.
There are bangers on that, bro. The song with Popcan, Savage Bars, also a banger.
And Andromeda with Drum. That's also
the song Charger with Grace Jones, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, and then even the Now Now was like solid. It wasn't like anything super crazy, but I thought it was solid.
I like it. I like it.
But yeah, I like this one. I think it's definitely a lot more poppy than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
On first listen, I think it definitely is going to take some time to fully grow on me because like first listen through isn't, for some reason I was like, I'm not sure. But I do. There are some songs on there. The song with Bad Bunny's a banger. That man just touches the mic and it's gold every time. I don't know what the fuck his nigga's saying, but but he's fire,
bro. What's cool is I saw this 1 hour interview Zane Lowe did with Damon Albarn talking about the album and the amount of respect that guy has for music in general, just in general, because he's talking about, and he specifically sounded the most excited to work with Bad Bunny because he said, bro, this is a fucking British guy, and he was like, he makes amazing music and he's so good. And the funniest thing that he was in Jamaica and that's where he made the song with Bad Bunny. That's why it's
really?
It's a reggaeton song, but but it's just the respect he has because I bet there are a bunch of elitists where it's like reggaeton, it all has the same beat and they're not really saying anything. Yeah, sure, you can have that opinion because all music is subjective, but it's just cool to see that the respect this guy gives music in general, which is why he has the ability to work with so many people.
Yeah.
He loves Snoop Dogg when he could have written him off as just like, that's not real rap or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I think I'll definitely have to give it a few more listens through before I, fully make an opinion on it. I do think the album is good. I don't think it's bad. I think the album is good.
And what interested me a little more is that he went back to social commentary on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Humans kind of had it, but it was more just about the world's ending, haha. And the Now was more about Gorillaz lore. It was about 2D not taking abuse from Murdoch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Song Machine, I don't really see a commentary in that. I think he was just making music.
Yeah, he was just making music with people.
And then this one, the reason why the Gorillaz are in a cult is kind of tied to internet culture and our phones and stan culture.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song called "The Tired Influencer."
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, it's good, but he kind of talks about how with Zane Lowe, they talk about how the younger generation was born with this shit,
mm-hmm.
and kind of when it comes to religion, sometimes you're born with it. You grow up with it because your parents take you to church and stuff. So it's almost like this cult that Apple started.
Essentially, yeah.
And he doesn't say it by name, but not in this. He doesn't say it in the Zane Lowe interview. But there's an interview talking about how stans are weird,
which they are.
And whenever you think of stans, everyone thinks of the fuck Beyonce stans. But he just says it's just this culture that older generation isn't connected to it, but the younger generation isn't connected to what they quote unquote worship either.
Yeah.
Because the internet's not like a tangible thing. The celebrity you're standing over is tangible, but when the fuck are you ever gonna meet them? Like, it's just this weird.
Yeah, it's a good
back
point.
in my day type shit.
Type joint.
But yeah, I like the album a lot. I think it's like an 8.
Yeah,
so far.
I won't be able to really give it a rating yet. I was about to listen to it a couple more times, but one that I definitely wanted to bring up were two. The two that I wanted to bring up. Did you listen to Logic's album College Park?
It's kind of long. I didn't hear the whole thing.
It is long. Here's my thing, and this is from somebody that used to be a big Logic fan, especially in the early days of him coming out with projects and stuff like that. Like one of my favorite albums ever is The Incredible True Story. That is one of my favorite albums ever.
It's a good fucking album. Yeah,
it's a great album. My issue is that with this and he's definitely like declined in terms of just overall solid music for a while, and like the one before the Tetris or something like that, that album was decent. It was solid.
Oh, I never listened to that one actually.
It was okay. It was solid. I think like we all know Logic can rap really well. Like he's very technically is a good rap. He's a technically gifted rapper. You know what I'm saying? But just not much else he can really say anymore.
Vinyl Days.
Yes.
I did listen to Vinyl Days a little bit. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, but it was
also
really
30 songs long.
Facts. This one, College Park, he's going back into like the Under Pressure days, which are
No Pressure was good.
No Pressure was solid, yes. So like with College Park, he's going back to like sounding like the Under Pressure days, the Young Sinatra mixtapes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is fine in theory. Because it kind of falls flat when he's not really talking about the things he was talking about in those mixtapes in that album. Because it's mostly a situation where he's rapping like he's like hungry, like he in the Young Sinatra mixtapes and Under Pressure, he's rapping like he's hungry to make it, and he's like rapping with a little bit more substance to him, right?
Sure.
This one kind of falls flat because like he doesn't really do that in this one. It's not like he's
because he's fed.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's already made it, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved, and I gotta listen to it again, and maybe I could be missing the point, and I could be making this statement, and I could be missing the point entirely. But like I could have sworn I thought it was gonna be a situation where he like recounts living in Maryland as a youth, and like rapping from that perspective, because of the theme of like the cover arts and like the track list and all that stuff, like the cover art is literally like an old picture of him in the basement he used to rap at, and like instead of saying the words like College Park, Maryland or whatever, which is the name of the album, it's like the geographical area code of College Park, Maryland.
Okay.
And and then the back of the album, like where the track list is, it has like the street names and shit on it with like the track list and stuff.
Sure.
So I was assuming he was going to talk about growing up in College Park, Maryland, and how that influenced him today, I guess, right? But I don't think that's there. It's literally just like Logic saying, hey, look how good I can rap. I don't give a fuck about that anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I cared about it really early on in his career because I thought he was really good at rapping and he had some really good songs. But I don't care how well he can rap anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many other people that don't rap as near as good as him on a technical level that can still get their point across, and I still enjoy them rapping because they actually talk, even if they're not really talking about shit, they're still kind of talking about some shit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like this album is more disappointing in that sense because the few songs I listen to are like they're kind of good, but it's like there's something that you're missing that you want, because Dangerous Mind is just bad.
Yes.
So it's not like
one song on there that's good. It's the very first one.
So it's not like you're craving more. I feel like what you're saying with this last album is that it's like you're almost like you're kind of getting blue-balled in a sense. Where it's like you're almost there, but just give me more.
Right. That's my whole thing. I just wish I could be completely missing the point, and I might have just listened to it and just like not really thought about it. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted it to be a situation where he like, yeah, this is where I grew up. This is how I was raised, and he obviously he talks about that throughout his projects.
Sure,
over time, right? He talks about, you know, being a kid and his upbringing in that situation. But I really wanted a full length project, especially with the way he titled it and the way he chose the cover art.
Yeah,
I really wanted like a deep title where he like, you know, talks about his upbringing in a very intimate setting, and then maybe you know, like comparing it to how he raises his own son, or like the people or the interactions that he has with other people on a day-to-day basis, and how like his upbringing has shaped him into like his now being a father. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He could have went so many different angles with it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't. But it's always been like, look how good I can rap, and I don't care about that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
is Seth MacFarlane really on that song? I haven't heard that one. But I saw on the track list there is a Self-Medication featuring Seth MacFarlane and Redman.
Honestly,
and Static Selecta.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I'll listen to it again because I just
think it's really funny to think, you know, Logic is like spitting something like, "'Cause my name is Logic and my cock thick," or some shit like that.
It's like,
and then Seth MacFarlane pulling up with,
yeah, just like something super dumb. Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, moving on. So Huey, if you are listening to this episode, shout out to you. You tweeted me and Ked and Jay about Yanni's album, and I had a response to it, but Jay and Ked didn't have a response because they hadn't listened to it. So I personally kind of enjoyed it. There were definitely a lot more songs there were some songs that I enjoyed and others that I just wasn't too very fond of. But I do like the Igor-esque style change to his sound. And I think that's, you know, it was a bold choice, and I think it was something that probably more so worked out in his favor than against him. But yeah, I know you had said something too about it a little bit.
Yeah, I liked it because it's this, he wanted to do psychedelic rock and he did a good job at it. I don't know who he got to help him produce, or maybe he fucking learned guitar or some shit, but he does a really good job of bringing across the psychedelic rock feel and even the funk R&B feel of some songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some songs I'm not too fond of, but like, bro, that opening is incredible. Like,
yes,
it's not just a good song. The opening is, I think, incredibly good. There's another song, I forgot what it's called, but I really liked it. Paint the Sky is really good. I've officially lost vision. To me, fucking it. But my main point, and what I didn't say on Twitter, I don't know if anyone thinks the way I do. Most likely. The reason I really like this album is because it felt important to the artist. I really like the reason why the last Brockhampton album kind of fell flat for me, the one with everybody. It did not feel important. It felt like these are songs we haven't finished, so let's just finish them. It didn't feel like this is our last thing, let's fucking do it, let's make it, let's fucking put it out there. For Let's Start Here by Yachty, it felt like Yachty had something to prove. It felt like Yachty was like, I need to make this, and I need to show people that I'm like, this is the power that I have. This is I could fucking do this and make it good, make it fucking sound, make people that don't like my music turn and go, oh shit, this is good. Because our boy Sevi doesn't like rap like Yachty style. Like I don't know what to call that. Fucking,
it's been called different things. So, but just Yachty's
it's not
style
mumble
of
rap,
rapping.
but that sector of like Yachty, even Playboy Cardi, you know, he doesn't like that. So I pulled up to his crib talking about, bro, Yachty dropped a psychedelic rock album, and he thought, bro, what? What the fuck are you talking? It's probably stupid. And then I showed him the Black Seminole, and he was like, whoa, wait a second, this is fucking good.
It's one of those things where it threw me off guard on first listen. So as soon as I turned on Black Seminole, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but it gave me, funny enough, it gave me a vibe kind of like the Gorillaz, a little bit. Sure. It kind of gave me that little, like, the psychedelic type of feel to it, and I was like, okay, well, I think I know where this is going. Funny enough, when you like listen to some of these songs, especially the one you listed, something about Vision, right?
I've officially lost vision.
I've officially lost my vision. I feel like he kind of showed us where he was going with that album. Funny enough, with Poland. Like, if you listen to Poland and you listen to how he's like the auto-tune and like the wavy like ripple in his voice, that's on like a majority of the album. He kind of already told us where he was going, kind of. He kind of already told us where he was going with the album with Poland. As funny as it sounds, because if you really hear like how he's like, especially the chorus, how that took off, right? And then you listen to some of the songs on there, it's kind of the same vibe, where like the auto tune is like pitched a certain way. And like he's like crooning, but the croon is like rippled
in his throat, like
it's sitting right there in his throat. But yeah, I think it's solid. I think it's a solid album. I don't know, personally speaking, I don't know if Ked or Jay are gonna like the album. I don't know where their music taste lies. Plus, they're older than me, so I don't know. I don't know where their music taste is gonna lie in terms of, because like Ked does a lot of he's a big music guy, but a lot of times when he's looking at music stuff, it's a lot of like, you know, Kendrick, J. Cole, but then he'll throw in like some, you know, old school like acts in there as well. He goes through, like, he does these things where he goes through like people's discographies a lot. And like most of the people I've seen him do it for are like, you know, the Kendricks of the world and Isaiah Rashad and those kind of, and Absol and those kind of people, right? He said in the reply, he was like, yeah, I was super underwhelmed with the Yachty's album, so I didn't really give this one a chance yet. I haven't listened to it. And so like, for all intents and purposes, he very much could end up liking it, but just, I don't know. I'm not sure they're gonna like the album as much as I did. And even then, I thought it was like a smooth like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Because I think if it would have been a whole full project of like, you know, solid songs, 'cause I think there's like, let me see, how many songs did I actually like keep with me after I listened to the album through? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think like 5 or 6. It's the Black Seminole, The Ride, Running Out of Time, The Zone, Drive Me Crazy, and then I can't remember. I Officially Lost My Vision. Those are like the 6 songs that I was like, yeah, these are the one.
Sure.
But yeah,
I'm genuinely surprised at how well received the album was, to be honest. A lot of fans of that style of rap, you know, listen to this album because they're like, oh, it's Yachty, so I'm probably fans of Yachty, but still stuck with it. And I don't know why, dude. I don't know if it was because it was Yachty, or maybe they just listened to it and they were like, wow, this is pretty fucking good.
I think that sometimes we don't give enough credit to younger generations. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Yachty's our age, but like the people he makes music for are not necessarily our age.
Yeah, they're younger than us.
So I don't think we give those people enough credit with their ear for music, I guess.
Sure.
Because like those same kids will probably say like, oh, Playboy Carti's a genius, which I don't agree with. I think his music sucks, but they have an ear for like off kilter and good music that's like sonically different, and so they kind of latch onto that kind of stuff. Like for as weird as Poland was, right, for Lil Yachty, and as much as like it had like potential for like a meme, like that's kind of like a real off kilter style of music that people like latched onto. Those kids liked it. So I don't know. I think we don't give them enough credit for having like somewhat of a good ear for good music because of, you know, other like music that's coming up in the scene now, and it's like a lot of it just doesn't really make sense to me or you. But
sure,
I don't know. That's just kind of what I think. I think it's kind of the same thing when Igor dropped, right? People were expecting another Flower Boy or another Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
But what they got was like heavy synth and like real like heavy synth and like more poppy type vibes to it. And nobody was expecting that, but we were like, wait, this kind of goes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of one of those things.
And that specifically goes back to what I was saying before of why this was so important to Yachty. Because yeah, Igor sounded different, but honestly, to me, who had been a fan of Tyler for a minute, and I think to a lot of other fans, they heard Igor and they were like, yeah, it's different, but it fits.
Yes.
When they hear Let's Start Here by Yachty, more people are surprised.
Yeah.
Because it's not what he was known for. It's the same guy who fucking made Minnesota, you know?
True. Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger
for Igor, more people were surprised
points,
that Cardi was on Earthquake than Tyler making that kind of album.
Yeah. I think that's also true. Yeah. I think, you know, it's a good like exploration of different sounds, and I think this is his. I don't think the album is as good as Igor in terms of just like a overall like pivot in sound. I don't think it's as good as Igor was, but I'm excited to see that this next step for Yachty. I wonder what his next project is going to sound like after this. I don't know if he's going to stick with this or like kind of continue. No idea how that's going to work, but yeah, I think there are other albums I kind of wanted to talk about, but there aren't. Like Don Toliver's was good, but you haven't heard it yet, so I don't want to like really.
I didn't even know he dropped.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's really about it for me. You got anything else?
I'm very excited for Q's album.
Yep. Q. His comes out like December 31st. It's like so long before that next.
For anyone listening, Taylor had put me on this R&B artist named Q. All 3 songs that have come out for this album are so good.
Yeah.
And they're very 80s. Dude, he kind of sounds like Prince.
A little. He gives like that kind of vibe, like the 80s, like.
But not. When I say that, I don't mean like, Prince ripoff. Like that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of gives off that kind of vibe. I think it's. I'm excited to see how he goes with his second like full length album. So I'm excited for that. But
yeah.
But yeah. So, you got anything else? Is that it?
No, not that I think of.
All right. Well, I guess that's in everything from us. We are now going to be entering the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and going on hiatus for a couple months. We'll try to make some stuff here and there, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But like for the most part, both of us are trying to work through some stuff and really try to figure out where we're trying to go outside of this. We're excited to go to DreamCon as well. We are, we have the tickets and the hotel secured. We just have to get on a flight when the time comes. And so we're excited to see everybody there. So that's been all from us. I've been Nostalgia. I was told by Zoe. We see you guys next time. Peace.